Hey, what is good, everybody? Good morning. My name is Adam. Welcome to Adam Makes Beer, and today we are making peanut butter cup stout, son. It's stout season. What do you know about stout season? That's the question. I prefer you to really dwell on it, think on it. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are making a brand new beer here at Cartridge. We're going to be using a whole bunch of real peanut butter, or real peanut, kind of like a PB2 type product. We're going to show you that stuff. We are going to mash in on a really traditional stout profile. This is actually a beer I'm riffing on that I used to make in the past. I used to make a beer called 582 over at Raven Brewing and Barbecue in Big Rapids, Michigan. And there it was a coffee stout that we would do on nitro. I'm pulling the coffee out of that beer, not really making a lot of tweaks to the grain bill. A lot of dark roasted malts in this, so that means the mash is going to smell fantastic. You can still see me. And then, yeah, we're gonna hit this whirlpool pretty hard with peanut flour, essentially. It's like a defatted peanut butter type deal. It's like peanut butter without the oil, without the fat in it. Get a lot of good real peanut flavor in there. Lean on that grist, lean on that grain, those roasted grains to pull that chocolate profile. Dude, we're gonna have a good time. Down on the main floor, we've got Big Josh Halpert holding it down, doing distro, standing in a tank. There he goes. Keeping the place together, keeping me together. We're just about to the point to where we have our false bottom covered. We're about ready to start dropping some grain in here. This is a big calcium chloride beer for us. We're pushing those calcium chloride numbers up really high because we want to make a big, round, rich, soft beer. And on the water chemistry side, that's one of the things you can leverage in order to make that work. Here we go, baby. It's a good day. It's a Thursday. We're gonna have that hot water going, the grain going, aromatics wafting. What more could you ask on a Thursday morning than just a little bit of grain waft? You know what I mean? We're pro grain waft here at Cartridge. It's one of the tenets that we're built on. You are gonna see me throw a little flaked oats in this, trying to leverage those flaked oats to create a little bit additional creaminess, softness, viscosity in the body of the beer. Right now I'm just adjusting the rate at which the grain is dropping into the mash tun. Let me give you a little close up here. Boom, baby. That's how we do. Starting to look a hair thick. The grain is still hydrated. There's no grain that's starting to get dry as we go. And that's something that I try to avoid. So I'm just gonna slow that grain down a little bit. Throughout the process, I'll sprinkle in my salt and acid. I don't need a whole lot of acid for this beer because it's a stout. And we have roasted grains and some caramel grains in there that help to pull the pH down for us. This is going well. My grist hopper only holds so much grain, so I have a few more bags of grain to mill, and so I'll show you that as this is happening all nice and happy. Not a whole lot extra. Oh! I'm not sure how this audio is going to be, but we're feeling good today. As always, you got to lift with the lower body, baby. Keep that back straight. Woo! Listen, At 45 years old, you need to lift with the legs, not the back. Keep that back straight. Too old for that. That young man nonsense, that bend in the back. All right, last bag. We're using a little Great Western Pils on this. You could really use a wide range of things for a base malt. You can go with something with a little bit more character, pale malt, something like that, but we're just running a nice Pilsner malt on it. All right, now back to it. Back up top. So I still got audio? Hopefully. All right, so we've got all our grain in to the hopper, I should say. Sped that grain up a little bit because I'm still chasing. A little lean on the water. Again, when I first started brewing, I was super concerned about everything, worrying I'd, not be mashing in at the right rate. If it looks too thin, if it looks real watery, speed up your grain, slow down your water. Enjoy the process. Process is still the same, whether you're mashing it in a cooler, brewing a bag, whatever, it is still taking malted grains, cracking them, hydrating them between, 145, 160. You're gonna make sugar, baby. You're gonna make sugar, baby. A little coffee, brought to you by Cartridge. Josh is off tomorrow, feels a little bit like a Friday. Even though it's not, I don't know why Josh being gone makes it feel like a Friday, but it does. Feeling good, I don't know. It's one of those days where you just appreciate the fact that you do this for a living, right? We could probably all be a little bit more appreciative. The small things now, granted, I am doing what I'm sure many of you watching this would think is a dream job, and it very much is, but some days are better than others. This beer is a little bit of a switch up for us when we do stouts. We run a beer called Holster, which is kind of a hazelnut cream stout. And I've done some other stouts that when I am making an adjunct type stout, I usually will take a lot of the traditional roasted malts out. And by traditional, I mean roasted malts with a husk. I will typically do a little bit what I call kind of like a faux stout, like a false stout, fake stout, where it'll have the dark color, but I use a lot of dehusked malts, particularly Carafa Special 2, the special product from Wyoming. Carafa Special 2 has no husk, so it eliminates some of the tannin, some of the harshness of the roast, or some of the aggressiveness, the assertiveness of the roast, and makes it a little bit smoother. So you get the visual of a really dark beer, but without maybe some of that really assertive roast. And sometimes even just seeing the color makes you think, gives you increases the perception of that roast, right? But with this one, we're slamming out with some good old-fashioned roast malt. So smelling like awesome bready coffee in here. Can't beat that. All right, we've got a little bit of our sparge water left. I like to put the oats in toward the tail end of the mash in. It's just what I prefer to do. So we're gonna go ahead and get these in. Lifting with the knees. And I do try to spread them out over the surface. You don't want to have big clumps here. Remember to engage the core. I can really see this turning into a fitness channel where I just show you all the things not to do. You're going to see some grain and stuff on top of the rake. This rake will actually be slightly submerged, so I will be getting all that stuff in. We're going to finish out this mash. I don't know. Do some other stuff. Drink a little coffee. Take you along for the ride. So yeah, see you in a minute. All right, everybody, we are into the Vorlauf or the recirculation right now. You're not going to be able to see anything out of this glass or this glass. This is our Grant, and this is our sight glass that feeds the Grant. The Grant, just if you haven't watched one of the previous episodes, a Grant is just a secondary vessel between the mash tun and the pump. So that way, if we pump too hard, too fast, we're not going to compress that grain bed. We'll just run the Grant dry. That's really what that does for us. But what I can show you is I can show you what the recirc looks like going back into the mash tun. The main purpose of this recirculation or this Vorlauf is to get the wort grain free. so we can send nice clear wort over to the thing. Now let me grab this and I will show you what this looks like. Boom. Just that little recirculation arm, dropping it right there back into the surface of the wort. Steamy steam. Anyways, I run this for 25 minutes, and then at that point, I'm gonna start loudering over to the kettle, and we'll pick back up there. Okay, our vorlauf, or our recirculation, is done now. We have some nice, beautiful, clear wort. It's hard to see. If you put a flashlight on it, though, you can. It just has that awesome, I mean, at this stage with all that dense sugar in it, it really just has like, almost like a molasses kind of thing. Sweet espresso, dark cocoa kind of thing. Super exciting. Let me give you a little look into the kettle. We're filling up. Vorlauf has commenced. We are collecting 17, 18 barrels today of wort. We're going to track this. We are going to start sparge here in a little while. I usually will run out a portion of wort first, get to just above the grain bed, and then start sparging, or otherwise known just spraying over the surface of the mash bed hot water from the hot liquor tank to continue rinsing sugar out of the grain bed. So yeah, stick with me. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're gonna maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.